Okay, let's talk about how to do questions 7 through 10 on the homework assignment. So let's see, I've got this arc that's 40, and notice there's a 70 here inside. So we know that the arcs here and here added together, 40 plus x. If I take half of those, I get 70. So I'm going to multiply by 2, and 40 plus x has to equal 140. So x must be 100. And now I can find y because y is outside of the circle, and the rule says I have to subtract the arcs and divide by 2. So now it's 100 minus 40 divided by 2, which gives me 30. So that's how we solve number 7. You're always looking at where the vertex of the angle is. Number 8. Notice I have a diameter right here. That's going to come in handy. And I notice I've got this 60 and 70 right here. And the angle that goes with those is inside the circle. Now, they don't ask us to find that angle, but it is going to help. So 60 plus 70 divided by 2 is going to be 65. That makes x 180 minus 65, which is 115. So that's how we find x. Now y is this arc right here. And notice this 53-degree angle goes to here and to here. And those are the endpoints of the diameter. So I know that with this 53-degree angle, this outside arc is 180, and the inside arc I don't know. So the rule is the vertex is outside, subtract the arcs and divide by 2, and you get your angle. So 2 times 53 is 106, and 106 from 180 leaves you 74. So again, inside, add the arcs and take half. Outside, subtract the arcs and take half. All right, let's move on to number 9. Number 9. Again, notice the diameter. That's going to come in handy. So angle W right here, notice that it goes here and here. If an angle intersects a semicircle, then it must be 90, because this arc is 180, because it's a diameter that's half a circle. So this is 90. If that one's 19, then 90 minus 19 is 71. This angle right here must be 71. That's going to help me find this arc over here. Because remember, the angle, if the vertex is on the circle, the angle is half of the arc. There is a reference sheet if you want to use it. It's located on Canvas. There's a reference sheet with all the rules in one place if you want to keep that handy. So 71 is half of this arc, which is 142. Now I go to find x, which is outside. So that means I'm going to subtract the 2 arcs and divide by 2. Well, the outside arc, the big one, goes all the way around here, and I don't know this part yet. But I'm looking at, all the arcs have to add up to 360. So I'm going to do 360 minus 142 minus 180 and get 38. So now I can do the larger arc minus the smaller arc and divide by 2. So 180 plus 38 is 218 minus 142, the big arc minus the smaller arc, divided by 2. And I got 38 for that answer. And then Number 10 is probably the easiest one of all of these, but you didn't get to it if you were stuck on the others. This is 100, and notice all of these congruent segments. We had a rule one time that said if the chords were congruent, then all other arcs were congruent. So if this is 100 degrees, I have 260 degrees left for these other sections. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So 260 divided by 4 is 65. So I know that each of these arcs is 65. So I'll label those all the way around. So to find angle X, I'm going to notice that angle X has a vertex inside the circle. So that means I need to do the vertical angles, add up those two arcs and divide by 2. So if an angle is inside, has a vertex inside, I add the arcs and divide by 2. So 165 divided by 2 is 82.5. Then I look at Y, which has a vertex outside of the circle, which means I'm going to subtract the arcs and divide by 2. So this big arc, 130, minus the little arc, 65, divided by 2. So if I do 130 minus 65 divided by 2, I get 32. Here's 32.5 for Y. So I hope that gives you some assistance in solving those last 4 questions.